All right, guys, today we'll be doing vocabulary. But this vocabulary is C2 based vocabulary. You can use it in your task too. You can use it in your speaking as well. Simple. There will be simple words that we'll be doing today. Right. So let's just write it down. Right. Let's start with vocabulary. Now remember, these are all C2 based. So unfamiliar words. Simple meanings, we need to understand. If you face any difficulty in making any sentence, please do come up forward with a sentence and I'll help you on. Otherwise, we all will be working together. Now, whenever we are speaking or when we are writing, right, there is a sentence when sometimes we do some people hold an opinion, right? Or sometimes we also say some people think, right? Sometimes we also say a group of people think. Now, obviously, I'm not writing things because I'm talking about people. Right? Group of people think. Now, here, a group of people, when I have to write about a group of people, there's sometimes we also call a word echelons. 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 Echelons also means group of people. Many of you already know this. Echelons, right? So, a group of people. Now, the other word today that we are going to do is COHORT. 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 Cohort also means a group of people. Now, when you're obviously talking about plural, then it becomes cohorts. Now, how we can use this word in terms of speaking? Obviously, majority of you are not doing writing module in IELTS. So, how we can use in speaking? Right. So, we can simply say some cohorts are standing there. I don't want to go there because I don't feel comfortable. Right? Some cohorts are. Now, obviously, it sounds like per words, right? But that's P. This one is cohorts. So, a group of people. Right. A group of people, you see some people, standing by taking photos when you're outside, going on excursion, you're enjoying some picturesque view and all that stuff. So that way you can use the word, oh my God, look at these, look there. There are a couple of cohorts standing, right? So a couple of cohorts standing, group of people. Clear? So, which means now if we need to say how we can make these sentences in writing task 2, some COHORT, some cohorts of the society nurture this belief that, right, some cohorts of the society nurture this belief that. Now, that's a very good expression to say when the topic in IELTS starts to, let's say, it comes, many people believe that. So, some cohorts of the society nurture this belief that. Nurture this belief means that people, they hold the opinion. In speaking, when you're just speaking normally to anyone, it's not about anything in spoken English. You can simply make a sentence, look there are a couple of cohorts standing. Let's go ask them about the direction. So when you're driving somewhere, you lost the track and you need to ask someone some directions. Okay, I can see some cohorts standing there. I think we should ask them for the directions. Right. So over there, we use the word COHORT. I hope it's clear to everyone. Now that was first. Now let's move on second. Destitute. 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 Now destitute means extremely poor. This is the first meaning. Extremely poor. Extremely poor means sometimes, we have to say the word poverty stricken people, right? So we can also say destitute, right? Extremely poor, poverty stricken, you can also say to it, right? You can also use this word poverty stricken in your task too, on your speaking as well. Spoken English as well. In Mumbai, slum areas, there are poverty stricken people living there. So rather than saying there are poor people, they are very poor, no. So rather than saying they're very poor, you can simply say they're poverty stricken. Poverty stricken also means that they are, like they don't have, they are under poverty, or less than. Right? They're living in very pathetic conditions, so they are extremely poor. So in that destitute, we'll make a couple of sentences. Now the another meaning destitute, what else we can say is means when you're not having something, when you're not having something, for that as well we can use the word destitute. Now let's make a couple of sentences on this. For example, the organization helped destitute children. The organization helped destitute children. So destitute means poor children. The organization helped poor children. So destination helped destitute children. Now, in terms of this, not having something. When you're not having something, when you say, in this COVID situation, what happened? Many people, they lost their jobs. So which means what we can say, many people are not having their jobs in this pandemic, right? So many people are not having their jobs. So many people, what we can say, many people are destitute of their jobs. So we can say many cohorts, right? As we just did the word cohorts, many cohorts are destitute. Many cohorts are destitute of jobs due to flux COVID-19. Now, what is the meaning of flux? Increase in something due to flux of COVID-19. Yes, increase in something. Flux means increase in something. Right? Increase in something, that is flux. So the organization helped destitute children, which means the organization helped poor children. Okay. Many cohorts means many group of people. Right? Are destitute means so not having. Many group of people are not having right jobs due to COVID-19. So many cohorts are destitute of jobs, right, due to flux of COVID-19. I am destitute of mm, I'm destitute of no I'm destitute of what can I say? What I don't have. Okay, I'm destitute of big friend circle. I'm destitute of a big friend circle, right? So I'm destitute of a big friend circle, which means I'm not having a big friend of circle. Big friend circle. Okay? I hope it's clear. I am destitute of a big friend circle. So which means I don't have a big friend circle. Okay, I hope this one is clear as well. Everyone? I will definitely be listening to these words tomorrow. So on this week basis, this week you have a moody week. Don't forget that. The topics are already assigned. You'll be getting it from tonight onwards. Right. Then number 3. RAOCOUS. Now RAOCOUS, right? This sounds like raucous, right? RAOCOUS. Its pronunciation is raucous. Don't say raucous. Okay? Don't pronounce like raucous. Okay? It's pronounced as raucous. Okay, ROKAS. That's not the spelling, remember. This is only I'm telling you to pronounce it, to remember how we can pronounce it. Raucous, raucous. Well, right now, raucous, what does it mean? It's making, basically, it means when, for example, you go to any dharna, like whenever there is a rally, or, like people, they have generally tendency to make loud noises. It just irritates you. So, making harsh and loud noise. That's what it means, making harsh and loud noise. That's basically a collocation. So it needs to sit with a verb, right? Or in the subject. That's a collocation. How we can say, for example, political parties depend upon raucous youths in order to promote their party. Okay, so raucous. Now, who are making that loud noise? Who are making that loud noise and harsh, hard youths are making that. Okay, political parties depend upon raucous youths in order to promote their party. So, loudspeaker, RAOCOUS. Raucous loudspeaker is expression is getting on my nerves. Now, what does this mean? Getting on my nerves. परेशान कर रही है मुझे, right? It's not that it's getting on my nerves. You know, like when obviously something is getting on nerves, like what happens? It's quite irritating. And so that expression we use over here. Now, Roker's loudspeaker is getting on my nerves. So what happens at you normally in obviously our Indian society these things happens pretty common. You know, like when you are actually asleep early morning, you listen to all of a sudden loudspeaker bang. You know, 4:30 in the morning. You know, and then you speak, you wake up and you start putting pillow around your neck. Oh, please let me sleep, let me sleep. You know? So those things, right? You're already making harsh and loud noise. I hope these words are clear. So rockers, right? Making harsh and loud noise. Right. Now this one was number 3. Number 4. Okay, before that, you all use social media one way or the other, right? I'm not saying that you're too obsessed with Facebook and all this stuff. Okay, that's fair enough. Now, what happened on Facebook or any other social media, like people, they have a tendency to give some kind of false information, right? Why they will do that? They don't provide false information for them. There is only one motive, to become themselves famous, right? How they can become famous? Obviously, for example, let's say tomorrow I got on the Facebook, I put in some kind of information. If somebody likes it, what they're going to do? They're going to share my link, you know, and on that basis, my name, Sam Lekhi, that is going to be, you know, be going on everybody's profile. People will be coming and start hitting my, you know, ID. They will start and sending this ad request, and I'll be like, wow, where I had like 40 friends, now I have 4,000 friends, right? So for providing fake information, right? I'm just getting famous. That's what people do, right? And I'm pretty confident over here because I've seen, oh, like majority of people, you know, in India, they have this tendency to just listen to nobody, don't verify the information, just, you know, like start shooting on the topics and get famous. So for that, like a person who's providing fake information or any kind of fake information campaign, you know, there's one beautiful word that we can use that is fallacious. F-A-L-L, fallacious, F-A-L-L-A-C-I-O-U-S, fallacious. Now, actual pronunciation, fala. No, don't say fala. That's not fallacious. So you can simply say F-A, fallacious. Sorry, fallacious. Fallacious.
Flashes. Flashes.
Yes, yes, fallacious.
Flashes.
So fallacious. So which means like giving out false information. When you're giving out false information. So for example, people on social media tend to render fallacious information only to gain popularity. Now, only to gain popularity again. What word did we do? When you're gaining popularity, where are you gaining popularity? Between group of people. So, in order to gain popularity among many cohorts.
Cohorts. Cohorts.
Okay, among many cohorts.
Flashes. Flashes.
So, render, R-E-N-D-E-R. What is render? Provide. So this one is example, right? People on social media tend to render fallacious information only to gain popularity among many cohorts. This is how, when you're making sentences, automatically your words which you have learned before, they will be coming out from your mind. That is a simple and effective method to learn vocabulary. Otherwise, believe me, no matter how much you try, you won't be able to recall the words unless you do speak on daily basis. Some kind of relation will always come. No matter whatever you speak, the relation will always be there. Okay, I hope this was clear. Fallacious. I want to just take a 1 minute break so I can refill my pen. Till then, just please go through the words again.
Fallacious. Cohorts. Raucous. Raucous. Raucous means raucous means making harsh or loud sound. Raucous. Dispute. Destitute. Destitute. Extremely poor. Destitute. Extremely poor.
Robust. Robust is strong and healthy. I quite believe in having a robust relationship. Right, fallacious. Okay, that's clear. Number 5.
Yes.
What?
Fallacious. Giving false information. And destitute. Extremely poor. Raucous. Very loud and harsh sound which makes you nervous. Okay. And
Now, the next word, what we're going to do is a very good one. We already know the word lack, L-A-C-K. What else we can say to lack? There is a lack of basic needs, right? There is a dearth, D-E-A-R-T-H. Dearth also we can say, same. There's a dearth of basic needs. Okay, what else we can say? Scarcity, right? There's a scarcity. But common, these all words are getting common. So what another word we can say to it? P-A-U-C-I-T-Y, paucity. How to pronounce? P-A-W-C-I-T-Y, paucity. Paucity also means lack of something. There's a paucity of brain. That's why I'm not able to recall the word. Right? There's a paucity. So, what kind of example we can make? Now, remember how I'm just saying, basic needs. There's the, like normally we say there are basic amenities. Basic amenities are available. Now, we sometimes even use the word rudimentary, right? Today, one more word you can do, cardinal, C-A-R-D-I-N-A-L, cardinal. That also means basic. When you're talking about, basic needs, basic amenities, there's a paucity of cardinal amenities where I live, because I'm living in the middle of nowhere. So, example, there is a paucity of cardinal amenities where I live. There's a paucity of cardinal amenities where I live. Due to STERN, stern lockdown. Stern means strict. Okay? Stern means strict. I hope paucity is clear. Paucity means lack of something. Right, example, there is a paucity of cardinal. Cardinal means basic, right? Cardinal amenities. Where I live, due to stern lockdown. Stern means STERN, right? Stern. You can also use the word stringent. Same thing. STRANGENT, stringent. Stringent. STRANGENT, stringent. Right. So due to the stringent lockdown, these all mean strict. Right, let's quickly move forward. I have 5 more words to go. Then we start with the debate. Now, number 6. ZEALOUS sounds ZEALOUS, simply ZELOUS, zealous, or even just to remember LUS, just remember this, zealous. Now, normally we have the word jealous, right? Jealous is obviously when you're jealous of something or someone, right? Here it's zealous. It's not zealous. It sounds as zealous with Z, right? Now zealous. Now, when you are zealous means when you're actually you're showing interest into something. That's what it means. When you're showing interest into something. So having or showing interest into something could be anything, something, someone, right? That's where we use this. uh, Majority of cohorts, right? So majority of cohorts, now I'm just saying majority of cohorts, let's make history subject, let's make, okay, majority of cohorts um, are extremely zealous. Majority of cohorts are extremely zealous with the rule of making history subject, with the rule of making history subject as optional in schools. So majority of cohorts are extremely zealous with the rule of making history subject as optional in schools, which means they are okay with it, that yes, history subjects needs to be made optional in schools. So they are showing interest in what? With the rule of what? Of making history subject as optional in some schools. Okay, I hope this one's clear. So number 6 done, zealous. Now let's move on 7. Now we normally have heard the word, exotic a lot of times. This is an exotic dish, which is very remarkable, very lovely, magnificent dish. It's quite exotic. So from that, we came up with the word quixotic. 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 Now it sounds as quixotic. Now it's not zotic, not XO, zo, it's za. Quixotic. Right, quixotic. Now, what the word means, quixotic. Quixotic means, when a person says something which is non-practical, imaginative thing, So, for example, let's say I feel like flying in the air. So, what am I? I'm quixotic, right? So, in return, you can say that, you know what? Tomorrow I feel like I'm gonna fly in the air. I'm gonna become a Superman. Come on, man. You're such a quixotic. So which means that unimaginative things you're saying, foolish ideas, let's say, or impractical. Normally, this quixotic word we use in terms of romance, right? Now, I give you a very good example here. I don't need to write it, but you would always understand. You know how in the old Bollywood movies, even nowadays, actors normally say, "मैं चांद ज़मीन पर ले आऊँगा तुम्हारे लिए." Right? That's a very impressive, and girls like, "Oh, seriously?" They do this thing. So obviously, what is that? That's quixotic. It can never happen that you can bring the entire moon on Earth. I mean, seriously, you feel like that moon is just like, okay, this little much, I'll bring it here. What happened? Right? So that kind of sentence, it's quixotic. Okay, bringing moon to ground, used to be spoken to by many boys in order to impress girls. But let's not forget, it was quixotic. Okay, so majority of wise. So otherwise, it's okay. Impractical saying, when a person is telling you that he or she is going to do this, which is impractical, it's not going to happen. It's just imagination. I wish, I am driving, so I really wish, I could just pop into my passenger chair right now. Oh, come on, don't be so quixotic. So it's imaginative things. It's not going to happen ever. Okay, I hope that one's clear. Now, number 8. When you have an ability to make quick decisions, when you're capable of making quick decisions, right? So what you're called as ACU, right? Acumen. How do we pronounce AKEW? Acumen. That's the pronunciation. Acumen. Q. Okay. So we can't say acumen. No, it's acumen. Man. Right? Acumen. Don't say acumen. Right? Acumen. Right? So acumen. Acumen is the word when we use that when you have an ability to make quick decisions. My boss, right? BOSS. Remember what did I do in pronunciation class with double dots, which is my boss. We don't say my boss, right? My boss. My boss is an acumen. Expression, I mean, majority of his taken decisions always work out pretty well. Right. So my boss is an acumen. I mean, majority of his taken decisions always work out pretty well. Always work out pretty well. That's the phrasal verb which we did. Right? Always work out. Work out means कि बहुत अच्छे तरीके से हो जाते हैं. काम अच्छा निकल जाता है उसे, किस चीज से? डिसीजन से. So my boss is an acumen. I mean majority of his taken decisions always work out pretty well. What kind of person you are? I'm an acumen, right? So which means you have an ability to make quick decisions. Okay, I hope these ones are clear. Now last two. Number 9. Vindicate. Now I don't need to do the pronunciation spelling for this, obviously, because it's pretty easy to speak. Vindicate. Vindicate means when you are free from any blame or charge or obligation. Who broke that class? She did, right? No, she did not. She, she was sitting idle. Oh, so she's vindicated now, right? So she's free from the blame. Okay. For example, since he wasn't guilty, right? Since he wasn't guilty, so he got vindicated by the court. Since he wasn't guilty, now I'm not writing here was not. Why? Because in speaking we use contractions, right? So since he wasn't guilty, so he got vindicated by the court. Okay, vindicate means free from any obligation or blame or charge or anything. When you're free from the blame. ठीक है, आपके ऊपर आपके ब्रदर ने सिस्टर ने कोई ब्लेम डाला और आप उससे मुक्त हो गए, ठीक है, तो उसका आई गॉट विंडिकेटेड, right? Because I gave the evidence that I wasn't involved into breaking the glass. Right. I hope that was clear. Number 10. Buoyant. Now this one, buoyant is not buoyant. Right? It's not that. It's basically, it will be pronounced as buoyant, buoyant. Right? Buoyant. Now, buoyant, it means, there are two means, right? But I'm going to do only one thing that you can remember easily. That is cheerful. I went to a party which was quite buoyant. That guy is quite buoyant. I mean, he has good sense of humor. Right? So we can say that guy is quite buoyant. I mean, he has a very good sense of humor. Right? Body also, like for example, you can say last night I went to a party and which was, you can say, which was quite buoyant, buoyant, which was quite buoyant, as we all danced a lot. As we all danced a lot. So last night I went to a party which was quite buoyant, as we all danced a lot. It was a very cheerful experience for me. It was a quite buoyant experience for me. It was a quite buoyant experience for me. Cheerful, when you were happy, you were excited, moody. Okay, moody week. This week is moody week. So remember, I need to listen this word. Okay. I was quite buoyant, I was quite cheerful when I did that. So these were few words which I wanted to share with you, right? Just listen, read them again, make couple of sentences on it, then feel like uh, just, I would rather say, like use all these 10 words into a story, short story, just prepare a short story, right? And somewhere or the other, just bring up a couple of sentences, see what kind of logic you're preparing, because you won't be remembering the words by the way you're learning them. No, you'll be remembering by the context you'll be using these words into. So tomorrow, for example, we did nonchalant, right? What is nonchalant? That when you're very cool, calm, relaxed, right? So now every time you need to say, when I was in school, I was quite mischievous. So obviously mischievous. What else we did? Pukish, right? When I was in school, I was quite pukish, right? But later on, as I grew up, I became nonchalant. But however, whenever I do, like look at the photos of my school times, I feel nostalgic, right? So this is how you just prepare some sentences, think of the words, keep the words in front of you, start making a couple of relations. Automatically, the logic will be becoming. You don't even need to, you work something hard on it. It's very easy. I don't like why you find it so difficult. These fancy words, why they've been made. It's not obviously what we do. We read them, we speak them, we feel, wow, I'm a good English speaker. That's not the beauty, right? The beauty is how effectively you use them. That's the beauty about intonation. This is why this week, right, on in our institute, Science of Education, we are having this week like mix up of different moods. You'll be bound to speak on various moods like happy, extremely happy, sad, or you're kinda okay, mild mood. The mild mood, obviously, you'll be speaking like, oh, so how have you been? How was the day? Not too good, not too bad. What happened? You sound upset. No, no, I'm not upset. It's just, it wasn't even good either. Why? Did you do something? I was about to do, but I didn't feel like doing because of humid weather. I don't know. Like there are a couple of things going on. What? Like want to share? No, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Everything is good. Don't worry. Don't worry. These kind of expressions. So we'll be doing it on visual basis. I would like to see your face. How do you look like when you're actually delivering this speech? Okay. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. I'll catch you later.